In the last session, we have seen about the working of the numerical mode relay or your admittance relay. So, in today's session, we will be seeing about the working of the numerical differential relay. So, this differential protection, it seems to be a very effective and sensitive protection for protecting the equipment such as generators, transformers or bus bars. Here, if you are going to take the principle, the underlying principle is that it compares the current from both the ends and then it allows the trip signal in case if the operating torque is going to be greater than the restraining torque. Here, now let us move on to the circuitry. Here you are having two CTs and correspondingly you are going to have the signal conditioners. So, which signal conditions the signal, that is whatever is the current signal it receives, it just converts into a proportional voltage, that is your V1 and V2, which are going to be fed to your digital circuitry here. Now, this signal conditioner, it is going to act as an isolation circuit between your power system and the other digital circuitry. Further, it just steps down the voltage, that is steps down the current proportional to the voltage. Now, this V1 and V2, they are sufficient enough to pass through your digital circuitry and cause the operation in case of a fault. So, this differential protection, it is very sensitive to internal fault and it gives high restraint condition to the external fault. Thus, this differential protection seems to be a very suitable protection for relaying. Okay. Here if you could see, here you are going to have the condition which is written, that is I1 minus I2 is the spill current that is flowing through the relay, whereas your restraining condition is given by I1 of S plus I2 of S by 2. Since your differential relaying, though you say the current entering and leaving the section are considered, but the generator, one generator can be at the substation, the other might be at the pit. So, the difference between the cables will be very high, that is the difference in the length of the cables will be very high. In that case, when the length is going to be large enough, then in that case, due to the pilot impedance or the pilot cable capacitance, this can cause the mal-operation of the relay. So, in order to avoid this small operation, we have incorporated the percentage differential relay, wherein the percentage differential current is also being taken into account, which comes under your restraining factor, that is I1S plus I2S by 2. We are taking at the midpoint of the restraining coil. Thus, if you could see, whenever the operating current is going to be greater than your restraining current, then the relay will operate. So, whenever the signals are being given to your ADC circuit, and accordingly microprocessor will issue a instruction to this to act upon. Here if you could see, once the voltages, that is the reduced form of the voltages are applied to your sample and hold circuit. So, this sample and hold circuit will discrete the signals or sample the signals at different instant and it gives the digitized values to your mux. So, mux, it will choose the priority of the channel, the data to be sent as being receiving the signal from your microprocessor. Here you are going to have your ADC, so which says that start of converting these values to your digitized value, and on being receiving the end of signal from the analog digital conversion circuit. So, this 8085 circuit will check this condition. If this operating condition is going to be greater than your restraining condition, then in that case the microprocessor will issue a trip signal. Here the main objective, we are going to give the I1 of S and I2 of S signal. So, this signal here, the fundamental frequency component to be extracted. So, whenever I want to extract the fundamental frequency component of the signal, then in that case I have to go in for the numerical relaying algorithms which has to be embedded in the microprocessor. So, in this case, whatever the relaying algorithms which is to be incorporated in the microprocessor are, they are going to be the DFT, that is your discrete Fourier transform or the fast Fourier transform, or it can be the rationalized Hart transform, or it can be your block pulse function. So, any of these techniques will be incorporated in order to remove the fundamental frequency components for the relay to operate. Now, let us consider for the generator protection, where the slope or the bias condition, it is in the range of 5% to 15%. Now, we will move on to the numerical protection for the transformer. When you are going to consider your trip condition, it is going to be the same as this condition, only the slope is going to vary. In case of your transformer, the slip percentage or the whatever is the slow percentage, it changes from 15% to 60%, whereas in case of the generator, it is from 5 to 15%. Whenever you are going to design the numerical protection for the transformer, it becomes utmost important that you have to take in the condition of the magnetic inrush current and the excitation, that is over excitation. So when I say it as a magnetic inrush current, when the transformer is going to be out of action and it is going to be put in service after 6 months, in that case the inrush current will be very high in terms of 5 to 7 times the rated current, and which constitute 15% of the fundamental frequency in it, whereas your over excitation, it executes 8% of the fundamental component in it. In this case, the restraining condition alone will be different. So whenever I am going to consider this magnetic inrush current, so it accounts for 0.51%, whereas whenever I am going to consider it for the over excitation, which the over excitation component of the transformer, this over excitation can also lead to the magnetic inrush. So this accounts for 8%. So this 0.08 has been written here. The main drawback is there in case of your magnetic inrush current. The main thing is the second harmonic will be predominating, and we have to separate the fundamental component of 15% from it. Okay, usually we will be applying this protection for the protecting against the generators and the transformers of 3-phase condition. In that case, whenever I am going to consider the over excitation case, in this case it will compute the third and the fifth harmonic. Of course, if you are going to use a delta connected transformer, then the third harmonic will rotate here, and it will not prove to be a problematic whenever we are going to consider the relay construction, whereas whenever you are going in for your fifth harmonic component alone should be given the protection. So this fifth harmonic, in case of your over excitation, accounts for your 8% harmonic component, which has to be suitably restrained. So this condition should be incorporated in your circuitry. So in case of your mic, that is your magnetic inrush current, so 0.15 times should be taken into account, whereas in case of your over excitation, to restrain the harmonic component, that is your 8% component should be taken into account. So with this, I wind up the today's session. Thank you.